Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. Meanwhile, I'm still introducing you guys to this video. So this video will be about STD 1501 assignment 5. So guys, as you can see that assignment 5 is a written assignment in it. So I won't be going through this paragraph. Yeah? So I'll just only touch the question, like the main question out of that paragraph. So the main question is that to what extent do you think criminal justice system response to the pandemic has had an impact on the prevention of public safety? Here you must look at the crime rates during the pandemic and measures introduced during the pandemic, such as curfews and the ban of alcohol. So you must use 500 words. So guys, when they say that you must use 500 words, you have to use exactly 500 words. Like you should not exceed 500 words using like maybe 540, 500, and I don't know, that's too much. At least when you exceed with a maybe like let's say 20 words. Yeah. And then you should not write like less than 500. When I say like less than 500, more like writing only 300 words, and then you'll be like, no, I think that my answer is enough. No, push, add some more points. Maybe at least if you can just say 490 somewhere there, it is better. The more points or the more words you put there, the maybe like some are going to give you some more points. Yeah? So put more words, put more points as much as you can. Yeah? And then mostly do not forget to Google. Most of the work we Google, we research, this is law. Yeah? And then in order for you to approach this question, we need to understand what is criminal justice system. So you have to Google what is criminal justice system. You need to understand it in your own way. You need to do your own research and understand like who do they refer to when they say criminal justice system, who you should talk about. Because if you don't know this one, seriously, you're going to find it difficult for you to answer that question because if you'll never know who you should talk about. Like this thing has many things. Like the stakeholders that I know under criminal justice system is police, courts, and correctional service. Yeah, correctional service. So out of the police, there are some departments even on courts and correctional service. Under police, we do have the SAPS, the police that you normally see every day, and then we do have the SANDF military, and then we do have private securities. Normally, you see them at the malls. Those securities at the mall, they are hired by private companies. So there are private securities. So all in all, these people work together to make sure that there is law and order, and then they protect the public. They all act on the best interest of the public. So those people were there, they were involved. When we talk about criminal justice system, we're talking about those people. And also they go and find some departments under court or people that we can talk about under court. The NPA is going to be there. And then also even on correctional service. So after understanding what is criminal justice system, here's how I think you can approach it. Use one point to explain this virus. What is this virus? And then maybe 2 to 3 points explaining the effect that it had on people or globally. You can say most people lost their families. It had a bad impact on our economy, those kind of things. And then the other point, please explain what is a curfew so that you can understand what is a curfew. Google these things, guys. Google these things. And do not forget to reference. Google these things. Then when you understand what is a curfew, please Google the disadvantages and advantages of a curfew. Write them down on a piece of a paper. Then afterwards, combine all those points. They're going to be like you're going to be able to see how the criminal justice system reacted. It's going to include the police inside. It's going to include the army. It's going to include what. How did they react? How did the criminal justice system react? What did they do? Most things will be things that you have seen. Maybe you have heard or read about on the news, magazine, newspaper, internet. So Google the advantages and disadvantages of a curfew, then you'll understand how. I do believe that those articles will also touch the part of criminal justice system, because of criminal justice system are the people who were there to enforce the law. They are the people that they were there to uphold the law, to make sure that they create a certain law, legislation, whatnot. So I do believe that you'll be able to see which crimes increased and which crimes did not increase. And through those things, like advantage and disadvantages, you can like see that no, man, here certain crimes increased. Like for example, let's say that under curfew, yeah, you write about this thing. At a certain point, yeah, the government had to keep us indoors. They had to force us to be indoors. Yeah. So the police were there to make sure that everyone is indoors or they're indoors. Yeah. So when they kept us indoors, they kept us indoors with the aim to stop or to slow down the spread, because of they believe that if they can stop the interaction between people or the public, that's where they can slow down the spread of this virus, and then they can even stop this virus. Ne? So they were acting on the best interest of the public, which means that it's one of the advantages. It's a good thing. But out of that, ne, crimes that did not increase are crimes such as robbery. Who can rob you because of you are in your house? And then those people that rob people, they are also in their houses. And then hijacking, no one can hijack you. You are at home with your car. Things like bombing ATM, money heist, those kind of crimes kind of like went down. Crime rate went down, and then so you can Google to get more information. But when people were indoors, crimes such as gender-basic violence, which is going to include domestical violence, intimate partner-based violence, those crimes kind of like increased because of, just imagine in a family having someone who is abusive, maybe having a family or uncle who is abusive. So which means that when that person is indoor, he will continue with that abuse full time. Yeah? So those kind of things kind of like increased because of there were cases, there were so many cases reported by women and children, saying that a certain person raped a child, a certain person did this thing to someone, and what. So cases such as rape and what went up. Some partners were even killing their partners. Yeah, so you're going to be able to see which crimes kind of like increased through the advantage and disadvantages. Yeah? Please use Google. You can also do that under ban alcohol. Yeah, ban of alcohol, which is a ban of alcohol. Then you're going to find which crimes kind of like went up and then which ones went down. Crimes that kind of like went up, I can say maybe bribe, because of some officials were bribed, because of there were some food parcels that were not reaching to people, and then criminal justice system at some point it was involved. Yeah, so those kind of things, and then even looting. People started to go straight in every store that has alcohol. They just break in and take every bottle that they can find, or any can that they can, as long as it is alcohol. Yeah? So you're going to find the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages. So guys, we are on question 2. So I just want to start here. Choose any one of the following topics and find article on criminal cases on the internet or a daily newspaper that is relevant to your selected topics. I mean to say topic, and compile a document based on the format below. Ne? Choose any one of the following topics. Here are the topics 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see: intimate, partner-based violence, women and children abuse, corruption and racism, and inequality, as you can see. Yeah? Then it further say that find an article on criminal cases. So it means that find one out of this. I'm going to say out of these topics, select one. After selecting one topic, find an article on criminal cases, not civil cases, criminal cases. So if you are still struggling with differentiating between what is a criminal case and what is a civil case, please Google those things, understand what do they mean when there's a criminal case and what do they mean when there's a civil case. So here they want you to talk about a criminal case, so which means that your article should be based on a criminal case. Yeah? So I do believe that reading that article, you can tell, no, this article is based on criminal case. Yeah? And then on the internet or a daily newspaper, so you can use the internet or any newspaper. So I highly recommend that you use the internet, because of internet is very fast. So here is how you can find an article. Use Google, guys. Go to Google, just write or type in articles about, and then select any topic, write it down. Maybe you can say, for example, articles about intimate partner-based violence. Then it's going to take you there. It's going to show you many articles. You just have to select one. There are so many, man. There are so many. Ne? So here, let me explain the topics there. Topic number one, intimidate partner-based violence. This one is mostly talks about like two people living together, two people who have a relationship, like a girlfriend and a boyfriend, or maybe a husband and a wife. Ne? So one of the partner has to abuse the other one, or maybe one of the partner abuse the other one. Like for an example, if you can just press here, ne, internet source, here's a link, this link in it, you find out that wife napped for murder after allegedly throwing a mayonnaise bottle at husband. So I kind of like read this article ne, in my days. This article, in short, it talks about like there were two couple, like it talks about a couple, ne? So they were both drunk. So the guy took advantage of that lady, thought that maybe he can kill the lady, ne? Because of the lady was drunk, thinking that she was gonna be powerless, ne? So he was strangling, I mean to say he was strangling her. While strangling her, that lady managed to reach the bottle. It was mayonnaise bottle, yeah, mayonnaise bottle. Smashed it straight on that guy's head. That guy started to bleed. Then the neighbors were there. They came in and what they witnessed everything that happened. That the guy started the fight. Ne? So later on, that guy dies. So the court was, I'm to say, this wife was prosecuted for murdering her husband. So this kind of thing. So this article, I can say that it relates to intimidate partner-based violence. For an example, just to show you, or like an article of intimidate partner-based violence, what it does include inside. Always, it has to include people who have a relationship, who are in a relationship, couple that is in a relationship. The other one has to abuse the other one. It might be a woman abusing a guy, or a guy abusing the lady. Those kind of other things, and then maybe they might even have a fight. Yeah. So children and women abuse, guys, you all understand, like is when women and children are being abused. So the article will talk about children or women being abused in that part. Corruption includes certain things like you can even Google it to understand it even better. Corruption includes when people taking money, when people are making poor service delivery, those kind of things. Racism and inequality. Racism, we all know that is when some people are selective according to genders or what, and inequality where there's no equality and balance. You can even Google those terms in order to understand those terms even better. Moving along, NB. NB stand for note below. Ne? Simply means that note below. So it states that no article must be older than 6 months. Ne? Which means that your article should not exceed 6 months. It should be 6 months going down. Ne? So I do believe like right now is April. Ne? So which means that the articles that are more relevant, or maybe they are still not outdated, we can start from November to April. That is 6 months. November to April, that is 6 months. So which means that your article should be from November to April, somewhere there. Ne? It should not be like October, what. It's going to be out of that 6 months. And you cannot write a future one. It should be there. And then it said that use the following format. Here's the format that you're going to be using. Yeah? Then before you can answer this question, you need to write down the topic of the article that you have chosen. Let's say that you saw those 4 topics. Let's say that you choose intimidate partner-based violence. Then you're going to write intimidate-based partner violence. And then after writing it that way, then you can answer these questions looking at your article that you will find on Google, that you have Googled. Yeah? And then let's start with 1.1. 1.1 states that source with correct referencing. So this is how you reference, guys. This is a reference. And like this thing, it kind of like instruct you. These are the instructions. So they even show giving you an example how to write it out. So if you got your article on internet, you just write internet source. If you got it on a newspaper, you can just say newspaper. Then you continue. Then the first thing that you're going to write is the name of that website. The name of that website, if you got it on website. So this one with this web link, you can see that they got it online, and then the name of that website was News24. They got it straight from News24. Ne? So if you got it from Daily Sun, you can just say Daily Sun. Ne? And then here you can see 2019. It is an example. Here you put the year which that article was written. The year which that article was written. If it was written last year on November, you're going to write 2021. If it was written this year, like maybe let's say on April, you're going to say 2022. And then you say dot. Let me just say, after writing the name of the website, you say dot, and then the year, then you say dot, and then you write the topic of that article. As you can see, wife napped for murder after allegedly throwing a mayonnaise bottle at the husband and wife. That is the headline or the topic of that article. There are some certain things, like for an example, um, 2 cops were arrested for demanding 10,000 bribe. Yeah, those kind of things. So you just only write the heading of that article. You just copy it and paste it down. Still works. And then you say dot, and then after saying dot, you press space, and then after pressing space, give it a space here, and then you copy and paste the website link. You copy and paste the website link. As you can see, this thing, it is a website. You cannot think for it. You cannot think about it. So you need to copy and paste it. After copying it and pasting it, you make a space, hit space, and then in bracket write accessed on, then you name the date which you accessed that thing, that article. If it was today, you're going to say 24 April 2022. Yeah? And then we move to 1.2. 1.2 state that provide a brief summary in approximately 100 words of what is described in the report. So you just need to summarize what happened in the report. And then when you're summarizing, guys, please do not forget to include the people that played a role inside. Like they should be suspect, or maybe the accused, the police, the yeah, maybe the witnesses and what. Then please include those people who did what, who did not do what, and then yeah, summarize that article. Do not forget to include those people. 1.3, why do you find this article interesting? So you need to explain, why do you find this article interesting? So you need to tell us, why did you choose this article? What like what made you select this article? Those kind of things. Because of all those, like you're going to find many articles. Obviously some articles will be like nay, yeah, then you'll be like, no, I can write about this one. So why did you select that article? Maybe you can just say that no, this article shed light on how maybe like it was bribe or something, how police officers can what or what, you see, those kind of things. Or maybe you can say that it shows unethical values and fraudulent behavior within the SAPS department and what. Then you go, you explain and what, because of, I don't know what got you interested, so you'll be able. 1.4, motivate why you believe this story relates to our criminal justice system. So for this one, I have never been sure about it, but I used to explain the role that they played. Like for example, this story shows good investigation conducted by the SAPS, those kind of things. So you just only have to show how did the criminal justice system react. I do believe that if you explain how they reacted, or how pleased are you with their reaction towards that matter, then you will be able to relate the story with criminal justice system. 1.5, identify at least 2 key role players in the article. It must be identifiable from your summary in 1.2. So you need to go to your answer 1.2 and take out key role players. So the key role players can be the suspect, accused, witness, or the police. Sometimes they can just say spook person. Maybe they say the hawks or what. Those people still fall under the police. Maybe it may be caught what. So you'll be able to take out those key role players. It might be the suspect. You just write, if it is the suspect, you just write suspect and then write the name of the suspect. If maybe it's the police, you just say that SAPS or police what officer, or maybe spokesperson of police and what, depending with the position that you will find there. Because of most of the time when they're taking a statement, they kind of like take the rank or maybe the position of that person. Then if it is the witness, you just say witness and then write the name of that witness. Do you think that criminal justice system functionaries served justice? They provide brief reason to justify your review. So you should start by saying yes or no. Before you can say yes or no, check in your article that was justice served for the victim or the people who were victimized. Are they pleased with how the criminal justice functionaries worked or did or reacted towards that matter? Criminal justice functionaries are just police, courts, and correctional service. So in most cases, you just find that the criminal justice functionaries that you find in your article are just only police and courts. Most of the time, I do believe it is not that like for you to find correctional service. It's not that easy. So even if you have police and then the court, you can just state looking how they handle the matter. Did they handle the matter in a good way? Did they provide justice for the victim? Those are the questions that you should be asking yourself. If no, which means that you're not justified. If you say yes, which means that you're justified. Then we are done with SJD assignment 5. So guys, I'm not the best, but I'm willing to help anyone with these questions. So I can provide you with guidance. So if you have any problem, please do comment, then I will respond to you. And then guys, please do not forget to do research. Every time when you are doing an assignment, please research. Make sure that you understand the question that you've been asked. If you find some terminologies that you don't understand, Google, guys. Google. Make use of Google. Do a research, because at the end of the day, you have to reference. So if you don't reference, you're going to get 0. So do a research. And a research, what I like about it is that it's going to give you many points. You find out that you're getting many points, and then you're able to reach that. Maybe let's say they said 500 ways, then you're able to reach that 500 ways with valid points. Proofread your work. Proofreading your work is going to help you when it comes to errors that maybe you may have done and everything. Take time to complete your assignment. Please do not write your assignment maybe like, let's say we are left with a day, or maybe you are left with few hours. You're not going to be able to proofread your work or to edit your work. So please make sure that 2 days before you do your assignment. And then Google. Make use of Google, guys. Google is going to help you to get many points. And then please do not forget to reference when you get your answers. Here's how I used to reference. I used to just copy the website that I got the answers from and then paste it there on my referencing place. And then on the right side, I just write the date which I accessed that that website in brackets, and then paraphrase, guys. Paraphrase as far as you could, but there are some things that you cannot paraphrase, like when they ask you about the act. You cannot paraphrase the act. You did not do those acts, so you just have to take those acts the way they are. So paraphrase where is possible. Where it's impossible for you to paraphrase, just copy and paste. But please do not just copy in everything and paste it. Like for example, you find a long paragraph and then you just take that paragraph and then you just paste it. It's going to lead to plagiarism. So paraphrase where you can. And thank you for watching, guys. Please do not forget to subscribe.